Okay, hello, welcome everybody. This is Brittany Samuelson with the Iowa After School Alliance, filling in for Michelle Rich for the August Best Practices webinar. We had to record this meeting today, so thank you for taking the time to come on and listen to our recording. Today we have Silos and Smokestacks providing the Best Practice webinar for the month, and we're joined with Laura Elfers. She's going to be explaining to you all the what Silos and Smokestacks is and the different activities and resources that are provided through the program. Before I turn it over to Laura, just a couple announcements for you all to remember. We have our Fall Institute coming up in September, Thursday, September 26th to be exact. Please remember to register for this online by going to www.iowa21cclc.com. And do remember that it is required that you attend one of the institutes. So if you didn't attend our Summer Institute in Council Bluffs a couple weeks ago, someone from your organization must attend this one in Dubuque. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. But otherwise, I think we're ready to turn it over to Laura. Thanks for being here today, Laura. Go ahead.
Thank you, Brittany. Hopefully we'll make this fast and simple and make you aware of the many opportunities that we have here in Iowa. Many of you have probably noticed our big brown signs along the interstate corridors and probably don't understand, well, why is that sign here? So hopefully at the end of this presentation, you'll be able to answer that question. We were at the state fair for the past couple of years, and this was the number one question. We see your signs, but what are you? So hopefully I'll answer that question. But first, the main topic a lot of people get hung up on is what the difference is between a national heritage area and what is a national park. And it's very simple. If you look at the words park and area, it will be self-explanatory. A national park is something specific happened at that location that you're visiting. And a national heritage area, we're looking at the natural, cultural, and historic and recreation that happens within that region that makes it unique to the United States and specifically to United States history. So up on your screen is the definition of what a national heritage area is. And for everyone to note, there are actually 55 national heritage areas. I apologize, the number on your screen is wrong, but there's actually 55 across the United States that tell a nationally significant story to that particular region. We partner with the National Park Service, and we're managed by a regional office through the National Park Service. So Silos and Smokestacks is managed by the Park Service out of Omaha. And we do receive federal funds from the National Park Service, but we have to match those federal dollars. So I am not a federal employee. I work for the nonprofit Silos and Smokestacks because we have to make a dollar in order to spend that federal dollar that we receive. As you can see from that map, most of the national heritage areas are on the East Coast, and they're slowly moving westward. To give you a couple examples of some other national heritage areas, the entire state of Tennessee tells the Civil War history. The Blackstone River Valley up in Massachusetts and Rhode Island look at the mills, the cotton mills, and the beginning of the American Industrial Revolution. The I&M Canal is one of the closest national heritage areas to us. It talks about the canal systems and the heritage and the cultures that tie with that industry. Motor Cities National Heritage Area up in Detroit talks about the automotive industry that changed the United States. So why is agriculture a nationally significant story? And up on your screen are the main bullet points. At one time, everyone was involved in agriculture. We were built on, in the United States, everybody's occupation was tied to agriculture, if not they were doing it themselves. And today there's less than 2% feeding the United States and the world. And people are losing that connection with their own ancestors and what life was like for great grandpa and grandma when they were here in Iowa. And just overall, they lose the connection to where their food comes from. Sadly, there are people that think chocolate milk comes from brown cows, and so we're trying to change that story. So in the United States, Iowa is the only place where it is designated to tell the story of American agriculture. Other heritage areas may touch on agriculture since it's from East Coast to West Coast, but right here we try to tell the entire story. Congress recognized the many firsts that came out of this region that greatly influenced agriculture. So our mission is to preserve and tell the American agriculture story and its global significance through partnerships and activities that celebrate the land, the people, and communities of the area. We were designated in 1996. Actually, we were just trying to be 13 counties. Congress said, no, you're going to sell it in 37 counties. So our borders are I-80 and I-35, so the northeast quadrant of the state. And what we say by partnerships in our mission statement is we have over 120 sites that help us tell this huge story. And this is a map in the back of our visitor guide, and each one of those red dots is a place that you can visit to learn more about Iowa history and Iowa agriculture. Many of these areas you contact them, and the visit is free, or at the most maybe $5. Living History Farms is more than that. We do have some bigger sites, so please contact them directly to know about admission fees. But I would like to take a little time and highlight some of our partner sites a little later on. But silos, just to let you know what we all do. In order to get up to 120, there is a partner site designation process. We ask sites to nominate to themselves or put in an application and tell us what stories they're going to tell at their site. And then we, as a staff here at Silos and Smokestacks, help them develop that story and those programs, and the docent, help train the docents and volunteers so their visitors have an excellent visit. We also have a grant program, which I'll talk about in a little bit, and education news and marketing and awareness. But we'll just highlight the sites, the grants, and education today in this presentation. So the partner sites, as I said, they have to go through an application process. We look at location and accessibility. We want it to be easily found. We don't want everybody to have to travel miles upon miles of gravel. We look at how they tell that story. Is it a docent? Is it a led tour? Is it self-guided tour? Do they have interpretive signage? What is there to help educate and share their story? And then we look at their story. How is it significant? What makes it authentic? Why is this the only spot that this story can be told? We try not to have duplicate stories being told at multiple sites. Somehow they may be related and the topic may be the same, but there's something that makes it very authentic at that location. And then we look at the longevity of that site. If we're helping them develop the story, we're looking at to see what their support system is like at those locations. Each of our partner sites, we ask them to identify where their story fits in six themes, and those six themes are up on the screen. The first one is the fertile land being, what was Iowa like when the settlers first came here? That story is important to the agricultural story because if it wasn't these prairies, we wouldn't have the rich fertile soils that we have, and it's important to tell that story, and also the stories of the native peoples and how they lived on the land well before white settlers came and how they used the land to prosper. And then we look at farmers and the families and look at the different cultures of those individuals that came and settled here. And the big story is, and a lot of our sites have this theme is of the changing farm, how electricity changed everything, especially to the women living on the farm, how just having electricity and having a washing machine freed up so much time, and what the telephone came, how that changed communication to neighbors. We also look at the science behind the agriculture that's happening today. How are we able to continue to farm with only less than 1% of the people in the United States doing it? So it fits into the STEM very well. Farm to factory. We look at, well, how the farmers grew that product and how it is turned into the things that consumers buy in the store today. And then just a few of our sites talk about organizing for agriculture and the support system for those in the ag field. So one of our sites is Hanson's Farm Fresh Dairy in Hudson, Iowa. A very unique story. It started out as it is a family farm, and the kids wanted to come back to the farm and live, but the current operation wouldn't support for other individuals and their families, so they had to look at ways to increase the farm, and they did it through ag tourism and deciding to milk and bottle and sell their own produce, being milk, their farms, and they also have 2 creameries, so they're selling their own ice cream in 2 different stores in Waterloo and Cedar Falls. So they have a very unique story with tours, and kids, as you can see, can go feed the calves if they want, and you get on a tractor pulled by a wagon and go tour the whole farm facility. Another one in Waterloo, Cedar Falls is the Ice House Museum, talking about harvesting ice from the river, and then the educational system that Iowa is known for, and the role the one room schoolhouse had in that. Another unique partner site is Hawkeye Buffalo Ranch up near Fredericksburg. Again, you get pulled in a wagon out from the pasture and told about the bison and the role and the significance they had to the native peoples. That place, by the way, is a heritage farm, which means it's been in the same family for 150 years. So they share that story also. The Wapsie Pinnakin Mill in Independence, they have excellent docents that guide the kids, lots of hands-on opportunities at this site for your students, and they can grind corn. They learn the whole milling story of how the corn is brought in and milled and packaged and bundled. Wonderful group of volunteers there running that site. The Fossil and Prairie Park up near Rockford, a lot of schools come to this site to go fossil hunting for the Devonian fossils, or go hike out into the native prairies, which are very important, but sometimes they don't go beyond the fossil hunting quarries to go to why those quarries were there. It was for the brick and tile company that was mining for the shale to make egg drainage tile. And in the picture you can see they still have two of the beehive kilns where those tiles and bricks were made to make more land available for for growing crops. This may not be a place that you take your students, but one that would be fun for you or a bunch of your teacher friends to go visit on a weekend or a Friday after a hard week at school. Tabor Wines, they do a great behind the scenes, so you can actually look and see how that wine is made and enjoy a bottle. We have quite a few places of vineyards affiliated with silos and smokestacks that you can go share a bottle of wine. This is one. It's bad to have a favorite, but this is one of mine, just because the unique story that is told here and the time period that it is told. This is Titan Farm number 6, and yes, number 6 is important because the man on the picture on the left is Colonel Emil Titan. He came to Iowa during the Great Depression and started up 8 different farms, tenant farms, and so he started this in the middle of the crisis that filled across the world, where he was giving people a chance to work and provide for themselves. He was a big inventor. There's just so many stories I could go on and on about him, but the family he currently lives here tells his story, but has also woven in their modern farming stories. So you see this beautiful barn that Emil Titan built. To the left of that picture is the modern machine shed with the great big John Deere equipment that they allow people to go stand next to and see and learn how that is used in today's field, because Emil Titan was a great inventor and an innovator and looking to way to improve things, to make things a little bit faster and easier, so there wasn't all that hard labor like he was used to. This is way up near Dougherty, up near Mason City. So I encourage you to look into the story of Emil Titan, a Swedish immigrant that just did phenomenal things, from latches, invented the latches for railroad cars, to the sprinkler system that's probably in your school. One story that is often overlooked in agriculture, especially here in the Midwest, is is the lumber industry. The lumber is part of the Department of Ag, and there is we were a lumber state, believe it or not, in Iowa, especially down near Clinton, and that is where that you will find the Sawmill Museum and learn about what that part of Iowa looked to the first settlers and the importance of the lumber industry to the state and across the United States. Seed Savers Exchange up in Decorah is they conserve and tell the stories and the seeds that have been passed down from one generation to the next. And those seeds that have lost their family connection, they are growing and propagating and bringing back to life all the different heirloom varieties of seeds, everything from flowers to fruits and vegetables. Just a little side note, because it's coming up August 31st. They will have their tomato tasting sessions. All the different samples of different tomatoes that you can taste and see. I was just up there. There are such things as orange tomatoes and even purple tomatoes. So I encourage you to go out and check them out, or even their website. The one neat project that they have going on currently with an intern is there is a rematriation project. They have a collection of seeds from the native peoples across the United States, and they're regenerating those seeds and then giving the new seeds back to the native peoples. So very important work happening there. Living History Farms is one of our most popular and probably most well-known sites where they demonstrate what agriculture and what farm life looked like through the different decades. A lot of hands-on opportunities for your students at that location. The grant program, one that I kind of spoke about it when we spoke about the Seed Savers Exchange. We help our partner sites hire a college student to help them with different projects at their location. So if I just put this in, if you are a parent or an aunt or an uncle that has a niece or a nephew or a son and daughter looking for internship. Most of our internships that we offer our sites through this program are paid. That's a rare opportunity. So seek me out if you find yourself in that case. I can help you direct you to some of our sites that may be looking for an intern. But the one grant that I know most of you will find of interest is our bus grant program. We offer to any school in the Heritage area, so those 37 counties. So if you are in a school north of I-80 and east of I-35, you are eligible to apply for a grant to take your kids to any of our partner sites, any of our 120 sites, or a farm or an agribusiness located in that area, and we will help pay the cost for you to get your student to that location and back. We'll pay up to 75% of that cost. We have a maximum grant of $350. So the largest grant you'll get from us is $350 if that ends up being 75% of your transportation costs. That's just transportation costs, the fuel in the bus driver. That doesn't cover admission fees. The application process is open right now and can be found at that link right at the bottom of those pictures. Silos and Smokestacks.org. If you just want to go, I did a typo. I apologize for that. Go to our website, go to the partners tab, go down to education, and you will see the link to bus grants right there. So many of the sites that I've listed, I have been in communication with or have made sure their educator on staff is aware of the new science and social studies standards. And I've been working with them on looking at what their normal tour is like, and sitting there and helping them identify what benchmarks and standards. I apologize for the old terminology. That's what I'm used to. What is being met through a visit at their site. So if you are interested in any of these sites, they should be able to tell you what for the lack of a better word, qualifications are being met, what standards are being met by a visit there to help you convince your administrators that this is your students are still learning something by doing this experience. If you are interested in getting my quarterly newsletter for educators, please contact me. I'll have a contact slide here at the end, and let me know, and I'd be happy to add that to you. It will just contain different links to websites or new information that'll help you with what you are teaching in your classroom. Highlight a couple different partner sites for you to consider, and for example, the last copy that I sent out had links to help you teach about the